What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Unworthy Motors. Today's an exciting day. Not only did we get some new wheels, but the car is finally getting lowered. You guys already know where we're heading. We're on the way down to EuroMpire. Today is going to be a good day. All right, just got out here to the shop, guys. We're going to be getting in shortly to get all this done. Now, the reason why I'm not showing you guys the wheels just yet is because it really needs to be lowered before you guys see it. It looks like a truck. So we're going to have to fix that, and then I will show you guys the wheels. But we're out here at EuroMpire. If you guys are in the area, in the Charlotte or extended area, this is the place to be. They do everything from performance, dyno tuning, even your normal alignments. They take care of everything. So if you're in the area, be sure to check them out. All right, so the car's pulled in the bay now. The springs that we're going with are actually height adjustable springs. So I did go with the KW Hasket. I considered doing coilovers, but for the price, KW Hasket just seemed to make sense. So we've got these laid out here. The car's going to be put up on the lift here in just a second, and we're going to get started working. And I think while they're doing the KW Hasket, I'm actually going to install the Turner skid plate as well. Little side note I was thinking about, so we're actually going to be all heading down once again for Beamer Invasion down in Orlando in 2023 this February. And if you guys are interested in the local area and want to cruise down with us, we're going to be leaving that Thursday before and caravanning down here, starting at EuroMpire here in Monroe, North Carolina. And we're going to be driving all the way down there to Florida for the Orlando show. So if you want to join us, go onto Instagram and look up EuroMpire_official. Shoot us a message and let us know that you want to join, and we will direct you where to join our group so that we can head down and have some fun. All right, here is the Hasket here. So these function the same way springs do, but they have the added benefit of being adjustable the way that coilovers are. So it's kind of a half medium. You're not going to get the benefits that you get from a coilover set, but you're getting the adjustability added to kind of your springs functionality. So it's a good middle ground for somebody. Coilovers obviously are going to be superior, but for the money, they're kind of hard to beat. I think these run right around 1,100 bucks. A good coilover set is going to run you around 3,000. So kind of give and take, but here's the set here. We've got our adjustables and our manual, everything included.
Perfect.
All right, so guys, it has actually been a couple weeks at this point. So at the shop, we were working on the car, got everything put on, wheels and suspension, test fit everything to make sure there was no rubbing. And then before we could quite finish up, I had to go run an errand last minute and go take care of that. So I ended up having to leave the car at the shop, and then came back a couple days later to get it. And unfortunately, I do travel a lot, so this is about two and a half weeks later, and this is really my first weekend back home. So I wanted to get out here, kind of talk through what we installed, why we installed it, what I went with, and of course, as you guys are hopefully all here for, this wheel reveal and see how the stance looks like with the suspension setup. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into it.
Perfect.
All right, so you guys can see the wheels that I went with. These are the Apex VS 5RSs. I did these in a glorious 18-inch wheel. They are 9.5 by 22 offset in the front with a wide 11 inches in the back with a 44 offset. These are their new set of forged wheels. I got them in a glorious satin black, which I think accents the car absolutely perfect. On top of that, I did end up going with the 18-inch wheel size. I know not a lot of people are fans of those, but I really wanted to run an extremely meaty set of tires. I'm actually running a set of 295 35s on the back with a set of 275 35s on the front, and they fit flawlessly. The best parts about these wheels is, of course, they are forged, and they are some of the lightest ones that Apex makes. These wheels come in at about 18 pounds a piece, making them extremely light. And trust me, while you may not necessarily see it just on normal roads and driving and the performance differences you get from the weight loss, I can tell you from having these wheels off 10 plus times, putting on different spacers, making sure I can get my fitment right, and checking for rubbing, I can tell you I definitely notice a difference lugging these things around in the garage. If you take a look at these wheels up close, you can see they have cutouts everywhere. You look inside the spokes and they've got little tiny tunnels cut out just to make sure that they're saving as much weight as possible, but they still regain all of the abilities and functionality of a simple forged wheel with all of those structural benefits. Now, I know some of you may be a little disappointed in my wheel choice. I know a lot of people are, of course, BBS, HREs, or even Brixton Forged. I mean, there's a ton of other really great brands out there. For me, as you guys know, everything that I do on this channel, I try to do it in a budget. I want to make sure that if I'm showing anything, I want to show you guys that you guys can modify these cars on an affordable rate. You don't have to go get $7,000 wheels, to have a really badass car or make it look nice. And ultimately, I don't have the funds to go spend $7,000 on a set of wheels. So I got these actually on Black Friday, and I got a hell of a deal. Apex was running 30% off on just about all their wheels. So if you're looking for wheels, look for Black Friday deals, especially if you're looking from Apex. It was a killer deal and I could not pass it up. So moving on to the tires that I went with. Now, if anyone is shopping for tires at this point in time in the market, you'll see Michelin's pretty much are just out of stock in a lot of sizes, and I will say 18s are especially impacted. So with this setup, I really wanted to go with an extremely chunky rear tire. I was looking at either a 295 35 or a 305 35. Now in the 18s, I couldn't really get any type of 305 besides R888s, and I didn't really want to run those on a day-to-day basis. Even though this is a weekend car for me, I just did not want to run that aggressive of a tread pattern with the R compound, just because one, the life of it is not going to last very long. I'm not necessarily going to be pushing the car to the extent where I'm going to need that little bit of an extra grip, and for me, running a normal street tire was ended up going to be pretty much what I needed overall. Now to talk about the tires that I'm actually running, so as I mentioned, there was a mix-up and I actually ended up getting 2 sets of tires for an extremely good price. One set was going to be an all-season set, and the second set is a very high-performance summer tire. So the tires that are actually on the car right now, these are the Extreme Contact Continental DWS 06s. These are their all-season tire high performance. These are going to be very good in all-season weather, and they also have extremely good traction. But from an all-season tire, these are performing extremely past my expectations. So I'm extremely happy with these, and I will be running these until just after BMW Invasion in February, when it starts to get into the warm summer months. Now, once it starts to warm up, we're going to switch over to the summer tires I went with, which unfortunately are not Michelin Pilot Super Sport 4S's, which is what I would have loved to have. But of course, since Michelins are impossible to find right now, I went with my second option, which is Continental Extreme Contact Sport 2s. These are extremely high rated. It's one of their newer tires they just came out with, and it is over their Extreme Contact Sports. And these have gotten really great reviews both on the track and on the street. They are an extreme high performance summer tire, and so far I cannot wait to see the difference between those and the all seasons I'm running, because like I mentioned, the all seasons have already exceeded my expectations. Now, the reason why I wanted to kind of do these two videos together is honestly because I feel like it was a package deal, and I didn't want to show, the wheels without doing the suspension, or the suspension without doing the wheels, because in my head, they go so close to being together and giving that total picture that you're looking at from a wheel and tire suspension setup, that I really wanted to do it kind of all in one video. So touching base on the suspension that I went with, a lot of people recommended coilovers. Some people were like, no, just get springs. They're inexpensive and they pretty much get the job done. And for me, being that I didn't want to really slam the car and I didn't want to have, you know, any type of issues with just pulling into normal parking lots, going over speed bumps. You know, I have props to people that do that. It's honestly, I don't know how you deal with it. It would drive me crazy. And I wanted the car to still be functional to an extent. And that kind of led me to, you know, leaning towards the coilovers. And then I'm like, well, coilovers are like, you know, an arm and a leg, especially if you're going to get a good set and you want to make sure that it can work, of course, with your EDC, and make sure that you can still take care of all of those suspension functionalities that you get with the car that it comes with. I didn't want to lose any of that. So ultimately, I ended up going with the KW Hasket. Now, the reason I went with the KW Hasket is, one, you got the price point. For the price point of KW Haskets, they're right between $1,000 to $1,200 compared to your coilovers around the $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000, and your springs, of course, way on the lower end at just a couple $100. The height adjustable springs, the Hasket, it was right in the middle, and it really gave me the best of both worlds, especially for what I was looking for. I'm not looking to do any just crazy track stuff every single weekend and really just throw the car into the turns. I'm looking to do some casual drives. I'm looking to go to the mountains and really beat on it maybe one day, you know, every few months. Like, I'm not looking to just really just bash this car in the turn. So ultimately, the KW Hasket was going to give me the performance that I was looking for, and the best part that I loved about it was the height adjustable part. So for me, like I mentioned, I don't really want to slam it, but I also want to make sure I'm clearing out some of that wheel gap. So it gave me the ability to really dial it in. I don't think that I'm finished. As you can see, there is a little bit of a gap. There's maybe a few things that I can tweak here and there, but ultimately it's right around where I'm looking because, like I said, I want it to be functional while still being able to take advantage of the performance, as well as the aesthetic look of it, of course, being lower and closing up that wheel gap. Final little touches that I have to do, and I am still working on these, is, of course, the wheel setups with Apex. Of course, Apex wheels ultimately are an old reliable set. I mean, everybody knows that if you run Apex wheels, they're very reliable. The customer service is great. Their wheels are extremely high quality, and on top of that, they have a ton of options. Now, the only thing that I wasn't able to do is just really spec out these wheels to have the perfect offset to not run a spacer, unfortunately. So with the rear wheels, I am running a little bit of a spacer on there right now. I currently have a 12mm spacer on there. I had a 15. 15 had a little bit too much poke, and it was not necessarily flush with the fender, so I dropped down to a 12mm on the back. The front is so close. The front really just needs just a 5mm hub-centric spacer, which I'm going to be picking up here in the next few weeks before Invasion to make sure I can get that front kind of sitting right where I want it to. I may end up going to like a 8mm in the front. It all really depends, but ultimately that's kind of where I'm at with the setup. All right, you guys tell me, what are your thoughts on my wheel, tire, and suspension setup? I'm excited to hear what you guys think. I have been, I know, holding you guys at the ringer for this. It has been a couple weeks, and I do apologize. I travel so much. This was really the first opportunity that I got to do a video, so I hope you guys like it. I know I absolutely love it. The chunky tire setup, I'm telling you, y'all need to get on that bandwagon because chunky tires look absolutely sick. Now, as I mentioned, I do have some more things in the works. I will tell you that it will not be until after Invasion when I show you. I will say that I have already picked up one of the major components for this upgrade. As I've mentioned previously, the way the car sits right now, this is version 1. I do have version 2 and 3 planned in my head, and we are working on the details of version 2 now. So stay tuned. I have some really cool stuff that I'm going to be doing to the car. I can tell you that the majority of you will not like it. It is going to rub some people the wrong way. But for those of you that are here to watch, enjoy the content, enjoy the ride, keep a lookout because it is going to be pretty good. That brings me to come on the next point, guys. We are going to BMW Invasion in Orlando. The entire EuroMpire team is going to be there. If you're not able to cruise down with us, which is a completely open caravan, we are taking everybody down there in one big long run on the Thursday before BMW Invasion. If you're not able to join us, make sure you pop in and say hey to us over at the booth. We are going to be in the inside VIP car show. We are going to be setting up a EuroMpire tent in there. We're going to have a ton of giveaways, goodies, and we would love to meet you guys. So make sure you stop by and come say hey. All right, there you have it, guys. That is the video revealing the new wheels, tires, and suspension setup. That is pretty much everything that I have planned for today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to go down and hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You guys do not know how much I appreciate that. It really does help me out. We are extremely close to 1,000 subscribers, and we are going to be continuing to go even harder after that. But that's it. I'm gonna have everything that I use, wheels, tires, suspension, even some spacers linked down in the description if you guys want to take a look at them. Other than that, my name's Dallas, this is Unworthy Motors, and I'll see y'all in the next video.